Holler at me, bang. Look at this. Trying to get, shaking the star, trying to get in the bang.
I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine.
I have not.
Summer heat never treats me kind.
I've never had a Mississippi boy in here while this song's playing. The song's about Mississippi. Y'all don't even know who's off camera right now. Big timer with me in the bar and grill. Here we go.
This highway does not know my name, and I don't care.
No, I
don't care. Heading my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare.
right to the dang hook, just like Dr. Dre right here. Just like it.
Getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.
Low budget, live, not so live from the LBL Bar and Grill. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, all you low lifers, look right there in that camera. And man, look at this, Justin Atkins. I didn't give you as good of an intro as I do when you call me because I was nervous because you're here.
That was pretty good though.
I mean, this guy right here, y'all, is just. There's a lot to talk about with you. We're going to get to it, but so y'all know that I like to do episodes where I can get my fellow people in the LBL Bar and Grill. Justin was getting his boat wrapped today by TN Wraps.
One and only.
Big shout out to Jeff. Big shout out. I'm not going to give you too much of a plug, Jeff, because, you know, you're not buying advertising time on LBS. Let's be honest. So you guys and gals out there, you can get your boat wrapped wherever, but TN Wraps, he's our guy. He's our guy. But not officially, but official.
Official.
Pretty official.
Unofficially official.
But he does that in my hometown, and my man, Justin Atkins, was in town, which he doesn't live that far away. But he's in town, and he's in the Bar and Grill, so thank you for coming, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are definitely a guy that a lot of people talked about in 2020 in bass fishing. There's a lot of Justin Atkins stories and questions out there, so I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And in 2021, I think this is my prediction. I do the same for John Cox, and it worked out for him last year. I've made predictions about you before on here that came true. When you won the Forest Foot Cup, I never saw my check. It's okay. It's okay. But I think that we will see you with a blue trophy this year.
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
I think that the stars align. I think everything happens for a reason. I think we will see you with. If we don't, we're going to see you get real close. I put it that way. You never know how these tournaments are going to go, but I think that
these guys catch them. There's no doubt. But it's
the opportunities are going to be
cool
there.
How everything is just kind of like if I had to sat down at the beginning of 2020 and been like, how do I want my year to go, and wrote it all out. That's how I wrote it. Like it worked out perfect.
And you but let's go back to January 2020, or let's go back further than that, like a year before, like you're on BPT. You're catching them on BPT. You're getting used to that. You had been an FLW guy. You get the invite to BPT. You go. And then last year, the world changed.
Yes.
Everything changed. They gave you guys opportunity to fish the FLWs. You took that opportunity. You fished a couple of those. But then the schedule worked out for you.
If COVID hadn't happened, I couldn't have fished all those.
I was going to say, you wouldn't have had, and we've talked about that off the air, but you wouldn't have had that opportunity.
And truthfully, when I signed up last year, it wasn't to like, I'm going to make bass. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
It was nothing like that. I have always, even when I was fishing FLW Tour, I fished Bass Opens. And I always said, if I fish the Elites, I'm going to fish Toyota Series because that gives you an opportunity to make a championship with another, organization.
Absolutely.
So if you have a good year fishing 3 or 4, I'm going to call them AAA events. Whatever.
But we know what they're hammer, hammer time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just for podcast purposes, we call them AAA events.
Absolutely.
You fish 3 of those and have a good season, win an Open or make the Toyota Championship or whatever, and make FLW's championship or the Classic or whatever. You get to fish 2 championships in 1 year. So I've always felt like that was a good business decision on my part.
Well, yeah.
As being a professional fisherman. So when I signed up for them, it was not I think a lot of people instantly, last year we showed up to Toho, they're like, "Oh, you're leaving."
And it's like you and Matt Lee. And Matt Lee had no desire to leave. And he's just fishing on the fish. The same things, more tournaments.
We wanted to go fishing. So, long story short, as the year went on and some things happened, with rescheduling and just the whole 9 yards, I ended up just kind of getting the feeling that bass was kind of where I wanted to be. Like, I mean, truthfully, I just watched these guys fishing in a classic, and my whole life I've wanted to fish a classic. Like,
tell them why though, because you've told me this. You've told me this a million times. My favorite Justin Atkins quote: "You want to be pulled into an arena what
with rap music
yes,
blaring?
That's
and,
it. I love that so
people
much.
Screaming and the lights and the whole shooting match. Like, I want to ride into an arena. I can just imagine this moment. I see pictures of guys when they're in the tunnel. There's a camera back there taking pictures, and I'm like, that moment, that one right there
is it.
That's it.
That's it.
Like, that's what I wanted my whole life.
Yeah.
And so it just kept lining up, and I've talked about this a lot. My rookie year, I just prayed about it, and I just had this feeling I need to fish next year. I really wasn't in the financial shape to do it.
Not at all. Knowing you,
I really wasn't, but I was like, I can do this. Like, I don't know.
And you had haters, right? You had people in your life, not haters necessarily, but people going, "Hey, man, you're not ready for this.
Yeah, don't do this.
You're not ready."
That's right.
And you jumped out there.
And it all started the year before on that. Like, if I make this, then I'm going to do this. And then I did it, and then I did this, and I did that. And I'm like, man, I keep praying about it, and these doors keep opening. So I'm going to fish the tour next year.
The FLW in 2016. 17, yeah.
Ended up winning the Forestwood Cup that year. So the same thing's kind of playing out here. Like, I've got this itch. I'm like, well, at some point in time, I want to try to fish a classic. I'm going to fish some opens. Maybe if I win one, I can fish a classic. And then, Bass Pro Tour schedule ends up getting cut because of COVID, and the rest of the year opens up. And I went to Sam Rayburn. That was the third open in the Central Division. No, it wasn't. It was the second open in the Central Division.
Because of the reschedule, yeah.
Third open for the year, and go out there and don't really have a good tournament. Finish 67th or something, and I stayed pretty close in the points in the overall to being in that qualification. And I'm like, well, I don't really have anything else to do the rest of the year. I need to fish the rest of them. But then if I qualify, I got some doors. I can see, you know what I mean? Like, who knows what's going to happen? I literally have nothing to do the rest of the year. I might as well just keep pursuing this. And so the next one's at Hartwell. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go to Hartwell. If I bomb out there or something, then we'll call it a year. I'll go deer hunting. We'll figure it out. Well, I go out there and catch them. And then we go to the next one, and I catch them. And we go to the next one, and I catch them. And now I'm like, okay. I always drop those hashtag
Costas.
That's a good time to plug Costas because I literally drop them off my head like that once a day and never break them.
Yeah.
So anyways, I keep catching them, and it becomes a reality that I may win Angler of the Year, going to qualify for the elites, going to have some decisions to make. And I just decided then that desire to fish a classic's never going to go away until I do it. It's just not. It's an itch I got to scratch. And I had made it this year, and that's the hardest feat in the world is qualifying for the elites through the Bassmaster Opens. Guys like Greg Hackney and Jason Christie make it look too easy. It's not that easy.
That just speaks to how freaky they are.
Yeah,
they're because think about the dudes that have been doing it for 8 years that are great anglers that you and I both know that don't get close or have gotten close a couple times, but then but dude, it's just like, we're just going to show up and we're just going to qualify.
And they just make it, I mean, like I devoted my life to it this year. The second half of the year to do what I did. And they were just like...
And it wasn't easy for you.
No, it wasn't
you missed winning AOY by a point, but...
Yeah, but I finished 15 points lower than any other tournaments that the year. I don't even qualify.
Game over. I was going to say, you're not even there. I've studied it.
No, it looked good, but it wasn't pretty.
You say all this, and I think, and you talk about making decisions, you had the hardest decision for you was MLF's like... And for whatever reason, they're like, in the middle of this, hey, boys, we need you to sign a commitment.
Yeah.
So you had a decision you had to make. And so did Jason, and so did Prosnick, and so did Hackney, and so did Iconelli. And you guys stepped away before the opens were over. Yeah. And I'll never forget you calling me. Lake, we talked, and I've checked in with you at every tournament because, you put it all out there.
Yeah.
Like you did. You. I don't think I've ever seen anybody now. Not taking you away from Brian New's year, Jason Christie's year, but dude, for me, for the decision you made with no backup, to just go, honey, to your wife and your new baby boy Cooper, you're like, I'm hanging it out there. I've got to make this, or I'm going to be figuring out what next year brings. And I mean, you had said, hey, I may go MPFL. I may have to do, I don't know. I don't know what next year brings. And until late, you didn't know. No. And I talked to you in the last practice, and you're like, yeah, man, I'm kind of tripping a little bit just because I don't know how good they're going to catch them. Yeah. I'm catching them, but it all works out. But talk about, I mean, did you trip? Did you have these moments where you were like, oh boy, because dude, the BPT, and obviously I'm whatever. I've been critical. But like that in the Elite Series are the upper echelon of this sport.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, they knocked the pro circuit down a notch when they got involved in FLW. I would have always put FLW up there, but now it is a feeder system for that league, right? Yeah. You can't argue that. Yeah. So you're like, you got a spot there.
Yeah.
They're going to let you fish. They're not throwing Justin Atkins out on his head for fishing the opens, right?
No.
And you decide not to sign on the dotted line. So when that happened, did you feel an 800-pound gorilla on your back, or was it like, because you're always cooler than the other side of the pillow to me. It's one of my favorite things about you, no matter what's going on. But
it was just kind of a deal of like, go back to 2016, Justin Atkins has a Duramax with a screwdriver stuck in the window to hold it up, pulling up to my first, like Gunnersville tournament. It's the same thing. It's like,
and you make a top 10 there.
We got to go take care of business, And so I just.
Do you practice any differently in that situation?
No, I try not to.
I mean,
because I feel like when you start getting away from what got you there, that's when you get in trouble. And it was like, I mean, I'll never forget. I literally had to let them know while I was at Neely. And so we fished Neely Henry, and then we went to Cherokee, Louisville, then Lake. So I had
a lot of tournaments left.
I had 3 tournaments left. I'm at the 5th one when I have to let them know. And I had to let them know after the first day. And I'm like, well, if I catch them, then we're going to do this. If I don't catch them, then I may just go ahead and sign and we'll figure it out. And so I'm like, that's kind of going to be my sign when I blast off that morning. I'm like, this is going to, Lord, let me know today which way I need to be going. And I go up, and like my 3rd flip that morning, I catch a 3-pound spot. And about 5 minutes later, I catch a 4-pound largemouth. And I'm like, I guess we're fishing the elites.
Hand me that piece of paper, hopefully. And dude, I don't know, man. I just don't. There's so much with the Bass and MLF back and forth, and I think fans might not realize how difficult a decision that is, because it's easy to say, "Oh, screw those guys. I don't like their format."
I got a family to feed and all that.
Well, you got sponsors,
sponsors and everything.
And you and I are both sponsored by Pure Fishing, and they're very much involved with Major League Fishing. Very much so.
And this is a great place to plug in. I have no issues with anything or anybody at Major League Fishing.
It was just your personal decision. Jason Christie said the same thing.
Yeah, I want to go fish a classic. I've never done it. If I had fished some and said I've done that in my life, I may have stayed at Bass Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Since I was 6 years old.
That's it.
That's what I've wanted. That's where I've wanted to be. You know what I mean? And I'd never done it. I got to go do it. I got to do it at least one time.
And I think anybody that bashes like the format, because I've never done like as much. If I've been critical of things, but the format's never one of them. Because I'm like, well, look, dude, the same guys catch. Like it's the same. The cream rises to the top. Guys are catching them, and you. Like last year, you qualified for a record. Like you figured it out. Like you had to.
It got better.
It got better. Now that's different. You're talking about being in this since you're 6 years old. Now that format's different. It's different than anything we've ever done. But you, especially at Lake Fork, really figured it out. And by just going, I'm just going to throw some giant numbers up here on the board. But I mean, you had like 5 that weighed like 30 whatever one day. I don't even
38.
It was dumb. It was just it should be illegal, really, honestly. It was real freak of nature stuff. But so I don't want fans to think that just because guys are leaving. I do think there are people that have issues with things, that did leave. I don't think everything's perfect there, and I don't think everything's perfect at Bass though.
That's what I was going to say.
They're running businesses.
It's we're employees of a business, and it doesn't matter where anybody's employed. There's always something that you are a little critical of.
Of course.
It don't matter if you drive a UPS truck. What you do,
Amen.
it doesn't matter. Like, you're always going to be a little critical of how something's going on. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I fish at Bass, Bass Pro Tour, MPFL, whatever. It doesn't matter.
There's always going to be something.
There's always something,
Yeah.
especially when you have a large group of people that are operating under one thing. You can't make them all happy.
Especially fishermen, we all like to piss and moan.
Yes.
I mean,
They are
that's
the biggest
what
pissers
you
and
can't.
moaners of all
You're
time.
not going to keep us all together.
Can't catch him. I ain't getting no bites.
He's a cheater. He's a cheater.
He's gotta be cheating. Gotta be cheating.
Did you mean to do a Scott Suggs impression right there? Shout out to Suggs.
Hashtag little dog.
Hashtag Suggs with the little dog. Shout out to my buddy Suggs, who texted me. I hadn't heard from Suggs in a while. He texted me on Christmas morning. Merry Christmas, old friend. I was thinking about. I love Scott Suggs.
I miss
Yeah, I miss Suggs. I'm gonna call Suggs. We should call him right now on the air. Actually,
He's crappie fishing or
I
what?
get or crow. He kills
Or crow
crows
hunting.
this time of year. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, you're right, dude. It is amazing. I used to sit on angler panels in FLW just like you did. And you sat in BPT meetings, you sat in Bassmaster Open meetings, BFF. It don't matter.
It don't matter.
Fishermen as a whole, hell, I got a podcast where I gripe about stuff. But as a whole, we're always like, I swear I know Johnny was in that off limits area. Ain't no way he's catching them legit.
Well,
it
and the
happens.
thing is, we're all competitive, and so when you start giving fishermen options to adjust the way things are done, they're always
Yes.
thinking of how they
Yes.
can play it to their favor.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, I think this is my strength. Well, I think we should change the rule this way. And 64
doubt.
other people are like, no, hell no. We ain't doing that.
Yeah.
And then it's just,
Can you imagine
You know,
like a
so-
guy like you, great with your electronics, a guy like Jacob Wheeler, what if they said, hey guys, for 4 of these events, we're taking out electronics?
yeah.
Because some guy that hates them, that likes to beat the bank more than he don't, suggest it and they jump on it. Because I read comments like that all the time, and I'm like, can you imagine if we did that? Or if we said, hey, no live scope, no live target,
Yeah.
or active target, whatever they call, hey, none of the forward pay, we're not doing that anymore. No hydrowaves,
Whatever. No trolling
Yeah, no
motors.
trolling
Y'all got a
motors.
paddle.
Can you imagine? But there would be a certain group in the
There's
tournaments that
somebody
would be
that's
like,
like-
hell yeah, they would think.
I mean, Jason Christie's like, I got an Indian brand paddle, and I'm an Indian. I've got a leg up on this one.
Listen.
I'm about to just paddle straight down the bank and catch them.
He told me a story about a blue heron on Boats and Pros being on a bank at Lake Hartwell in Clark's Hill, and he goes past it, and he was like,
The heron flew at him
dude, yes.
and looked him in the eyes, and he connected with it.
And then he rolled in there and busted
And then
him.
it flew to this pocket,
And he went there.
came back and pulled in that pocket with the heron and caught him.
And it's like, you know what?
I told him the other day, I called him. I said, where were we at? Where were they at Lewis Fort Lay? I said, dude, I was running down the lake, and I saw this red-tailed hawk. And I got this feeling. I was like, I feel like I was connected with it. And so I turned to run towards it, and I hit a rock pile, knocked my lower unit off.
And I want to
And he
thank
was
you for
like-
sending that red
He was
tail.
like, really? You gotta be kidding me. I was like, I'm completely kidding. He just died out laughing. But
He's the best. Jason's the best. Speaking of Jason, you just remind me, I have not thanked the sponsors, and Jason just went to one of my sponsors that we're sharing now,
Sure did.
Express Boats. So I got to say thank you to StarTron, Starbright. Justin, have you ever used StarTron on anything?
absolutely.
You've never drank it though, right? But you shake it.
Back in the day.
Back in your steroid days. StarTron kicking ethanol in the teeth, bringing you low budget live, not so live for a long time now. 3 years going on, 4 now, in the 4th year of LBL. So I want to thank those guys. Put it in your weed eater, put it in your chainsaw, put it in your, what are you using it in? Your four-wheeler.
in my boat
And
or
your four-wheeler.
four-wheeler.
You're going to put it in your four-wheeler.
Oh, yeah.
You see how I get it was the same way with Fat Cat. He jumped all over it last week. It was like my chainsaw. He knows about the StarTron. Got to thank Sims Fishing Products. You get one life. Fish it well. Of course, we got Express Boats. Now we just talked about it. And Jason Christie, I got a bone to pick with him. He got his boat before me. And y'all been tagging me in comments. You've been blowing me up like, I think you got your boat. I promise you, mine is almost finished. Could be this week. As a matter of fact, we're going to get that Express X21 Pro with the C deck. So thank you to Express. They've made some things happen on that, jumping through hoops to get everybody ready, especially the elite guys, to get their boats ready for the season, because with COVID, there are a lot of issues. And them being a family business, it's amazing to me some of the strings that they've pulled to get boats. And little old me, I got caught up in the middle of that as well, and they're taking care of me on that as well. So I'll have my boat very, very soon, way sooner than I should because of some of the COVID-ish delays. So thank you to Express, the Herndon family, all of those folks. We will have the X21 Pro very soon. And last but not least, Pro Guide batteries. We're going to get some new batteries in that Express X21 Pro very soon. And got some exciting announcements from the folks at Pro Guide coming very soon about some new goodness. Can't talk about it yet, or I'll get in trouble. So thank you. And for any of you, there was a comment last week, you were better before you had sponsors, but you got good content. Well, if you like any of this, I say it all the time, guess what? This costs money. It takes time. I'm very appreciative of every sponsor of the show. It's just like every angler you follow. If you're going, hey, Justin, shut up about Falcon Boats. Well, guess what? It's how he feeds his kids, and they support him. You should support the brands that support the people you enjoy. So I just want to throw that out there. And if you don't like the sponsor reads, which take about 2 minutes, guess what you can do? Right through it. You can. I do it every episode.
Feature on YouTube.
Yeah,
if you'll
30 seconds.
If you'll start tapping the right side of the screen.
Yeah, if you're watching on your phone, just roll on. I don't expect you to hear all of it. I appreciate if you do, but you know what? To each their own. So thank you to the fine sponsors. Now back to your regularly scheduled Justin Atkins awesomeness. A lot of changes in the bass schedule. I shouldn't say a lot of change. Big changes in the Bassmaster schedule already. So a lot of people know this about you, but for the people that don't, Justin, from Mississippi State grad, but fished Pickwick a lot growing up, fished the 10-time waterway, but now resides in Florence, Alabama with his lovely wife, Tessa, baby boy Cooper, and he's a Pickwick guy. You're a Tennessee River dude.
Yeah. No, I started coming up here probably.
A lot of history.
Yeah, long time ago.
A lot of history.
When I was 10, 11 years old, my dad started bringing me up here, and we'd fish a bunch, and that evolved into wanting to learn how to catch them out deep. And, Tommy River fishing was, I pitched down the bank.
That's right.
I didn't make an overhand cast until I
Yeah.
started coming up here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just target fishing, junk fishing down the bank. But up here, you're catching them off the bank, and current breaks, and grass, and rock, and it's just a good place to learn. So we spent a lot of time up here, and I can remember being like, in my teenage years and being at the hotel at J.P. Coleman, and I used to love to sit up there at night on the balcony and watch the barges go up and down the river, and I was like, one day I'm going to live here.
That's awesome, man.
And so now when I go out there, every time I pass that hotel, I'm like,
yeah, you're my dog.
I remember that. It was cool. We're here now.
And on the schedule, which was released right as you qualified,
Yep.
there's Pickwick glaring in June originally, which is you are to me from fishing with you, I mean, and keeping up with you, an offshore guy. You're an electronics dude. You're an offshore guy, but that 10-time waterway, dude, you've also beat my teeth in with a spinnerbait, flipping. Like, you can do whatever. You're a very versatile angler, which I think a lot of guys in your age group that came up through the college ranks, all the dudes that really hammer them, the Patrick Walters and the Matt Lees and Jordan Lee, all you guys do and if Shane LaHughes, if I'm leaving anybody out, y'all sue me. I love all y'all. Y'all know I do. I'm just brain dead today. But all y'all are very versatile. I think that's what makes you group dangerous. But talk about now, because we had a big change. The Bassmaster Classic and Pickwick we switched dates.
Yep.
So instead of a ledge fest, which essentially is what that would have been,
Absolutely.
a boat draw tournament, something that you and I talk about a lot, it's changed. Mm-hmm. That world's changed. It's different now. It's harder.
Oh, it's so
harder to win now than it was 10 years ago, because now everybody does it. The guys that didn't even know how to do it now know how to do it.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for you personally with that Pickwick tournament, but for the overall field? Now it's a March event. What do you expect? I mean, are we talking? I told Mercer, this is what I said. I said we could see a century mark. We could see a century mark that week, and he was like, "What?" And I said, "And you could see a 28-pound bag of brown ones." And he's like, "What?" I said, "Dude, I'm telling you, that's prime. That's prime."
And
Pickwick.
I feel like tournaments have avoided coming here then because it's still winter pool. It's volatile. It's gonna be a little sketchy to run around.
No doubt.
and we are subject to get a ton of rain and it be 50 foot high and have to reschedule it. It's all
absolutely.
that is subject.
Absolutely.
But the ledge fishing thing, that died. That's over.
It's over, yes.
It was cool. It used to be fun. Everybody knows how to do it now.
Still people catch them doing it.
People still catch them. But like in the springtime, just in general, when bass are on the bank, the whole lake plays.
Yes.
But in the summertime, when they get out deep, there's 70 places that get on Pickwick out deep. When we had a bunch of fish, I don't think we've got the volume of fish we once had.
I would agree with that.
And so now you have 45 schools that get out, and we're about to drop, in the elite there won't be but 100. So
but they're all looking.
I was like, well, that's not too bad. There'll only be 2 boats on every hole instead of in a tour event where there's 200 and there's 6 boats on every hole.
Yeah, for sure.
And when we had a lot of fish, you would find those random schools that would get on those places that weren't so obvious. And, I just haven't been seeing them the last couple of years on some of those places. And I was just really thinking, for me to have a chance to possibly even win in June, I'm either going to have to catch them out of brush or do something different.
Something off the wall.
Or I'm going to need them for some reason to appear somewhere I haven't seen them in a few years. For some reason.
That maybe a guy, an out-of-towner misses.
Is not going to find. That's right. There's a few of those places out there that when you understand why they set up like they do, you're like, oh, well, that's why they get there. But looking at them on a map, they don't lay out right. There's a depression that, the cartographer missed something, And there's there's a few of those out there, but there are not many, and the fish just don't get on like they used to. And those guys are going to find all those holes. Like, I wasn't going to fish anything that
you got
anybody
3 practice days.
Yeah, I wasn't
with electronics.
They're going to find them.
They're going to find them.
So it's like, I wasn't thrilled. I was thrilled about it because I was like, I get to fish an elite, sleep in my bed. It's going to be cool, but whatever. We're going to go have a good tournament. This one, I'm like, this is going to be awesome because there's going to be 20 different patterns going on.
For sure.
Guys are going to catch them all kind of different ways. The whole lake's going to play.
Dam to dam, for sure.
Dam to dam will play. It could get one at either place from one end to the other.
It's crazy to think about.
I mean, all of it. It's all going to play. Yellow Creek, Bay Springs, like you could catch them anywhere and catch big bags of bass. So it's going to spread everybody out. I'm interested to see how it's going to get won, And then, obviously, I have history here then. I know things that I've seen under certain water conditions, places that
aren't as obvious.
That are no, not at all.
That aren't as obvious.
No.
So do you think...
I have more of an advantage in March.
That's what I was going to say.
By no means am I saying I'm about to win this tournament.
I'm not saying, hey, Justin's the favorite, write his name on the trophy.
When I put the boat in the first morning of practice, I will know what the water conditions are, what the current's like, what it's been like. I drive over the river every day, either going deer hunting, turkey hunting, or going to Muscle Shoals. I drive over the river somewhere. I will know what the current's been like, that whole 9 yards. And so I will start practice somewhere they get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like when you
juice stuff.
When you go places, by the third day you figured out kind of what's going on, maybe some things to look for. My advantage here, I'm going to start practice on something good.
Yeah.
Like I will be looking where they should be. Other than that, dude, these guys catch them. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody wins this tournament throwing a line through on a dock. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody catches them out deep, if they catch them at the dam, if they catch them in the Tennessee State Park. Like, I won't be surprised any which way, So I just want to have a good tournament there too, obviously. But I'm excited about that because it's not front-facing current breaks. They're going to have the bass on them, and there's 60 of them, and let's go have a big time, boys. Like, they're going to get caught from 2 foot to 20.
Could that one be dominated, and I'm just asking this generic, but could it be dominated with smallmouth for 4 days? It could be. It could be a smallmouth tournament.
It could be. And that's not just catching them at the dam.
No,
they may catch smallmouth anywhere.
Whole lake,
but it could be.
Yeah, I think that I think people will be very surprised. I think they'll be very if and you hit it on the head, and this is what I told Mercer too. TVA lakes are susceptible to water conditions. And Pickwick is the last line of defense before they dump everything on Kentucky Lake. So they'll flood Pickwick in a heartbeat. If we get a lot of rain, which this winter is the driest winter we've had in a long time. We've had the floodgates open this time for the last 3 years, and we're not. Y'all have me to thank because I decided to build a lake with my dad. So normally we kind of get that out of the way, but in March I've seen the gates open. I've seen it super low. I've seen it super clear. There's so many different things that could play, but I think fans will be surprised to see how big of a stringer or smallmouth, first of all, that we could see that week, and largemouth. Because, dude, you're talking 30-pound stringers get weighed in that time of year.
That time, like a week after that, my rookie year, me and my dad went and practiced for a tournament he had. I was leaving to go to Cumberland, and me and him went and practiced the day before, and I think we had like 29 something.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you could see could see a 32. Big. You could see, I mean,
like when you find them, they're big.
Yes,
you know. And here's my favorite part about the whole thing. They're gonna be big. They're gonna be healthy, and we're not gonna kill them all.
That's right. Yeah,
you know
we're all
what I mean?
Gonna go back
because in the summertime, there's pleasure boats, there's yachts. Everything's out there. You make a 30-mile run. You catch them. You can ice them all you want to. That's fine and dandy. But you turn around and run them 30 miles back as hard as you can because I'm going to fish to the last minute.
Yeah.
And I'm going to run these suckers back. And you pound them. It's rough on them. It's rough on our population.
You've been outspoken about that, about Kentucky Lake sucking. I've seen you comment. You've gotten into it with people online with your stance. And, dude, I don't disagree. I've said the worst thing for Pickwick, they had there for years, is the gigantic high school tournament, 500 teams, you know.
And I think that's fine, but bring them here
in March.
On spring break.
Yeah, April,
bring
whatever.
Them here in the fall
Postpone's tough.
or something. Like, they're just... It was cool when we first really started catching them, you know, back in 08, 09, 10, whatever. When, like, that really kind of became a thing.
The thing, yeah.
And Instagram's a deal, and we're like, we're going to box a few of these and hold them up. Well, about the second time I did it, I realized I killed them all.
That's
and
right.
I'm like, we need to quit doing this because now everybody knows how to go catch it. And it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody for wanting to do it. It is fun.
Yeah,
it's
fishing's fun. Yeah, especially
go out there
catching
on
them
a
stacked.
Tuesday, and you're throwing out there in a barrel full of them, reeling them in. I get it. It's fun. But riding them around and all that.
And not taking care of them.
And not taking
do it.
care of them for an afternoon to take a glory photo picture.
A hero pick, yeah.
It's rough on them.
It is.
And, you know, guys I feel like if people learn, you know, just use fin clips. Use your G-Juice.
Yeah.
I'm not sponsored by Teach Marine.
Yeah.
Use your G-Juice.
Use whatever. Even if it's not G-Juice, there's a lot of stuff out there. Yeah, just use whatever.
Just take care of them. And what I saw on Kentucky Lake with Little Eyes there is there was a night tournament Monday through Friday. And there was multiple 200 to 500 boat tournaments every Saturday, every Sunday, all summer.
Postpone.
Yeah. I mean, they were there starting in May all the way through. And dude, they just killed them.
Fish don't get a break.
They just killed them. Mm-hmm. I mean,
there's a lot of other factors I think people would argue in Kentucky, and we've seen that too. But dude,
I mean,
like you're saying,
Asian carp didn't help nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
But I can take you to Ferguson in Greenville, Mississippi, where they originated. They are going to jump in your boat while you're fishing, and we'll catch 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Big
Oh,
ones.
you've told me that.
They were
Yeah.
big ones. I mean, you go flip willow trees and catch big ones.
Yeah.
And you go to Kentucky Lake, and you just, like, it's desolate. And,
That's
I mean,
weird,
like I
man.
said, the carp didn't help anything.
Yeah,
by
for
no
sure.
means. But we killed them.
We
killed a lot of them.
we don't help things, and I think that you know, for all the grief that Major League Fishing gets, I think the catch, weigh, release at the right times.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not a bad thing.
people want you to bring in a giant. They want to see Justin Atkins hold up a giant on stage. Why they show up? They want to see the freak show. They want to see what the lake brings. But I do think in the summer, like what they do at Lake Fork with Texas Toyota Fest, dude, that wouldn't hurt my feelings on Pickwick if you had a summer tournament. Now
that's my thing. Like I don't hate it either. I'm with you. Like go to Fork in the summer, go to Pickwick in the summer, wherever, and the whole catch part. That's fine. I just like the five. I like that ceiling.
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's
we're still fishing for a goal here, not just reeling in all day. Whatever. That's my difference with that. And here's the thing. I'm not knocking live was nothing. I can't wait to stick that first one in the box.
Oh, I know that. And slam the lid on him and scream at it.
And about 10 minutes later, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to pet him.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do all that. I can't wait to be at a weigh-in, hold them up the whole 9 yards. There's just parts of the country that are not on Tennessee River that are still great fisheries, that those fish live shallow. They live in hot water, or we go up north. And they're just easier to take care of. And the Tennessee River became, in the last 10 years, this, we're going to catch them offshore in the summer.
Mecca.
That's the only
People
time
come from all over the country.
That's the only time worth going's in the summer.
May, June, yeah.
And that's the worst time to fish it. The best times are literally January to the end of April, and then first of the winter, late fall.
For sure,
it's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Catch big ones.
Absolutely.
And catch them 90 different ways, and that's what I want the world to see.
Yep.
Because the boat ramps are empty all year until May, and then I'm at home during May and want to go fishing, and I can't.
Don't want to.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man.
Let's spread it out.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all come here during the spring when you can catch a 10-pounder. Not a 6-pounder that's been caught 4 times this week.
With coal holes in his face for some reason.
So like I said, I'm by no means am I against the offshore fishing thing. I love it.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of money catching them off the bank, and it's fine. I'm super excited it got changed to March because we're finally going to show the world this is what the Tennessee River's about.
Yeah.
This is what it's about.
That's when Mercer and I, we did a special news press conference podcast about this. And he's like, what do you think? And I said, and his eyes got really big when I said, screw ledge tournaments. And he's like, what? You're a Tennessee River guy. I said, dude, I get so sick and tired of every schedule that comes to Pickwick, Kentucky, Chick, that it's got to be May and June, May and June, May and June, May and June. I'm like, show it what it's got in February and March. Like Bass was going to Chick in March last year and it got flooded out. And I was like, dude, this is going to be crazy. And then it didn't happen. And then they went in the fall and you got to say, hey, this place ain't a dream all the time. I love that too, right? Show that sometimes that it can be stingy.
Yeah.
So I think for me, Pickwick, that schedule change is going to be huge. But and we're Tennessee River guys, so I apologize that we're just talking Tennessee River. But talk about what are you looking forward to on the schedule. I know you love it up north. I've been there with you. You enjoy it just like everybody does. We always enjoy that trip. But what on the schedule are you looking forward to that you've seen outside of? You get 2 Tennessee River tournaments. One, I don't think you're familiar. 3, that's right, Guntersville. We're forgetting Guntersville. Yep. Guntersville's overrated. I get killed for saying all the time, so overrated. It's the most overrated lake in the country. I said something like that on LD and the MC, and Darien blows me up, and then I start getting people going, you're such a hater. I'm like, no, Guntersville sucks. I'll say it right to your face, Alex Davis. It sucks. But Guntersville will be a good tournament. So you get 3 Tennessee River opportunities.
So I've never been to the St. John's. I'm a little interested in it. It could suck.
It just depends. It's one of those deals.
Like Florida fishing is so volatile for me because I either land on them or I don't. And I guess that's everybody's kind of
You got to
like
mix.
that.
Everybody's got to mix record.
I go to a lot of places to where I can get by, but in Florida I feel like I catch them or I ain't got a clue what's going on.
You and I made a long drive back from Harris Chain one time, pissed
just
off.
Mad.
We've been there.
Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to that one. And the challenge of the Sabine River scares me and excites me at the same time.
Yeah,
that one's either going to be really good or I'm going to cry all the way back from Texas. I don't know which one.
Dude, I think it may have been you I was talking to the other day, but how do you...
No.
Yeah,
what's
it was
salt
you.
Water,
We were talking.
What's not? What am I supposed to do?
That's so intimidating for me. Like lakes like Santee Cooper always got in my head a little bit because it's so giant in the timber, and Rayburn's a lot like that where you're like, where in the heck do I run without dying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. But like when you go to a place where somebody posts on Facebook and says, tons of saltwater intrusion, I'm like, I stick my finger in the water? How do I know? Do I drink it? Do I go, I'm catching too many redfish here, I need to leave?
Yeah.
Are there crabs here? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you, because you can't get information, how do you decide where to make your first cast, dude? Just send it?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how you decide that.
I don't know. Because they never, if you go back and watch the shows, which that's the only outside help I can get is
public
they
info.
catch them somewhere else every time.
Well, the first year they went to
They went off in Louisiana, and then they can't go back, and now they're running way off to the west.
Yeah, they're tearing their boats out, and then you got the last time it was what they all was like in little canals and stuff, and they're all piled up on each other.
Yeah,
and
I'm afraid I'm just gonna be off somewhere by myself.
Here's the thing, you know this story well. If you are by yourself on the Elite Series FLW Tour, Bass Pro Tour,
it's either going down or
you are the dude that's like, "What's up?" in the camera stacking them, or you're like, "Hey guys, where's everybody at?" Because you're sucking.
Yeah.
So I think Sabine's going to be one of them places. If you by yourself, you probably ought to just pull the old trolley up. That's that place, dude. I think I think it would shake me out of my shoes. I do. I think that going somewhere like that, and even fishing 4 years on the tour, I never went somewhere that was just completely like mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
But I think somewhere like a Chapelizod Basin would be like the classics in the New Orleans Delta always like gave me anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to make a 2.5 hour run in the Gulf of Mexico, dude. Pascagoula River. There were so many like old cool tournaments, and I'm like, dude, these guys are ballers.
Yeah.
Like if you can figure that out in 2.5 days, you're a baller. So Sabine River would definitely be that one for you. But you got Neely Henry in there too, dude.
I'm looking forward to Neely Henry because it's fish tough, but it's at a time of year where they're going to be a little spawn, a little post spawn, maybe some shad spawn, maybe
Cool
some
stuff
fish
going
off
on.
the bank, and it's a little bit tough.
Yeah.
Like Neely's just been fishing tough.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it
It's
hadn't
got
been.
a ton of fish in it.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of fish. It just hadn't been fishing good. You know, not like Neely that I know from back in the
Oh,
day.
gosh,
You
yeah.
go down there and
Yeah.
catch 5-pounders, all day long. But I'm just looking forward to it because it'll be kind of a junker at a good time of year
Yeah.
when I like to junk on a river. Like it'll be kind of like
Be fun.
it'll be a homecoming kind
It'll
of.
be-
Like
yeah,
Pickwick in March is gonna be awesome, and Neely's kind of gonna be a get back to my roots.
To me, I'm excited because I love the Coosa River, and I think on that national stage, not saying the Bass Opens aren't national stage, but that Fox coverage, because I won the first tournament I ever fished. My dad and I put the boat in the water at Neely Henry. We won. We caught 18 pounds of spots there in March one time, and we'd never been there. We practiced one day. We found one hole. We caught them, and we won a Fishers and Men tournament there. I did really well there one time as a co-angler, like 17, was leading the first day of a BFL Super tournament there. I called them there in a BFL Super as a boater at like 18. Like, it's just always been a special place to me. And so it's really cool. I like that the Opens have gone there. It's too big of a crowd for there. I feel like I fished ABTs there and always got my teeth kicked in because, dude, it tripped me out in an ABT.
It gets thick.
Whew.
Yeah.
Because it's not
big.
It's a big lake.
It's long.
It's long.
But it
But
is big.
Yeah, it's when you're looking, I mean, you feel like you can touch your rod bank to bank in some places on it. So that one's going to be
That's a good
interesting.
field size for that place at a good time of year.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I like that one.
What about Loudon Tellico, though? How's that going to be in February? You talk
Never
about
been there, but I can tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be cold.
cold.
Like, we fished
Cold.
a chick last year at the end of February, and about every third cast, I was dunking my rod, make a couple casts, and it'd freeze, and you dunk it again. It's going to be cold, and it's probably going to be raining.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
You know, that one will be mental. You know, it'll be tough, like, just to stay in it. The fish will be biting. We'll catch them one way or another. We're going to catch them.
But you're not pre-fishing. You're here with me today. I'm seeing guys up there. So you're like, I ain't going to Loudon. I'm not going to St. John's.
Nah.
So
I wanted to go to St. John's, but I was going to leave last Thursday afternoon, but Friday it was forecasting to blow 25. Saturday it was forecasting to blow 18. And then Sunday it wasn't going to blow. Well, I had to be back here Monday to get my truck wrapped Monday morning. So I was going to have to leave at lunch. So I'm like, I'm essentially going to drive down there to go ride for 6 hours. I'm going to take my chances.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another place that's just it's big. It's big.
Yeah.
It's big water. It's every year. It seems like you're saying
It's going down
it's just somewhere
else.
different. We
Yeah.
see the shows and it's like, oh, that man, if I go there, that's where I'm going to go. And then the next year, like, man, that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
You're like, oh,
that's
okay.
right.
Okeechobee's a lot like that too. Changes constantly.
Okeechobee's different every single time I go to
Yeah.
it.
So what else are you fishing other than the elites? Because you like to stack your plate up. You're a tournament angler,
Yeah.
first and foremost. You've embraced social media in the last few years, dude. You kill it for your sponsors, but you're a tournament dude.
I like
It's
to
what
fish.
you're like John Cox, except you haven't lost your mind and you're not fishing 41 tournaments this year. So 21 to be exact. John, and he's going to win 8 of them. I've already called it, or 9. I can't remember what the predict. Dude, that's good odds. You're in 21 events and you're John Cox. It's
Good chance you're gonna win
pretty
8
good
of them,
odds.
for sure.
Pretty good odds. Dude, he looked at me. He looked at me off air. He's going to kill me for saying this. But this made me laugh. He said, dude, now he ain't talking about how much entry fees he's paying. He ain't talking about his sponsors are giving him more money. Nothing. Like, I'm asking these questions, but off air, I was like, dude, that's a lot of money. And he goes, yeah, my March credit card bill is going to be really high. And I said, yeah. And then he goes, but dude, I've got 2 tournaments in 8 days. I could win 20 grand. He didn't talk about 100,000. He goes, I could win 20. And that's how he looks at it.
That's the same way I try to look at it. Like,
And it's amazing to me.
if you just learn how to just be really consistent,
You can get
you can
checks.
just stack them checks.
Get paid.
And when you're being consistent, you're going to land on the juice at some point, and you capitalize
You're going to get to
on
swing
it.
big.
That's right. You're going to swing big, and you're going to win, or you're going to top 10, you're going to make a big chunk. But in all those others, just be consistent. You know, and that's how, that goes back to your question, or do you practice different? Did I practice different?
For the opens, yeah.
I try not to. I just try to be as consistent as I can every time. I always practice for whatever I find is the best, whatever the best bite I can get on. That may land me in 68th at Rayburn. It may land me in 4 top 20s, you know, consistently in opens. I don't have a clue. But I'm just going to I'm going to fish as much different stuff as I can in 3 days, figure out what's the most consistent, and I'm going to run with it. And I really like it when I figure something out late in practice and I learn it during the tournament. Because when you start learning during the tournament,
yes, I feel like that's
you dial it, and that's when you can win.
Especially in the spring when things are shifting, changing by the minute, by the hour. But so you're going to do the elites, and then what? What else?
I'm going to fish a division. I'm going to fish the Central Division of the Bass Opens. One of them's Smith Lake. One being at Smith Lake, one being at Pickwick, and then I've never even been to Grand. But we're going to go out there and give that one a shot.
Can you, I'm cutting you off because I can. I'm the host. Can we share information on those? Like we used to talk a lot on tour.
We can do that.
I mean, like Pickwick or me and you can be like, Pickwick buddies. Like, is it going to be cool? Because, you know, I threw my name in the hat for the Central Opens. There you go, people. Y'all been asking me. And I, too, enjoy Pickwick. Yeah. Not quite as much as you do because you're the man. So I called full disclosure. One of the first phone calls I made when I decided to fish was Justin, just to feel him out. And he's like, yeah, I'm signing up for those too. And I was like, awesome. All right, well, see you later. And hung up because I was hoping that he'd help your boy out. But he's in the derb. So you're fishing the Central Open. So you got 2 big derbs on Pickwick.
Yeah.
Within a month of each other, basically.
And we're going to try to make it 3 because I'm going to try to fish. If I can fish a full division of Toyota Series, I'm going to do it. Yeah. But they've got this new wild card thing now where you can just fish 4 in any of them and, like, take your points from your best 3 or something. They're going to take 10 guys out of this.
I literally did not know that.
Oh, yeah. The plot thickens.
Okay. Thank you, boy. It's something else. Carry the one. I can't even do that math. I wouldn't even know if I qualified.
So there's 10 or 12 guys.
Holy crap.
If you fish 4 in any division.
No matter what. Mix and match.
Mix and match. If you fish 4, you get to drop 1, take your best 3, and it puts you in a pool, and they're going to take 10 from that to fish the Pickwick Championship in the fall. If I misquoted that, don't sue me. I feel like I'm close.
And it's a no entry fee, $200,000 tournament on your home lake, our home lake, where we live. I didn't know about the wild card.
So I'm going to try to get in on
Now you got your boy, you know, I don't know that they would take my entry fee. I'm not sure. I don't know how that would work, but
they'll cash your check.
They'll cash my check. I feel like they'll swipe the Amex.
Oh, yeah. They'll cash your check.
I have a feeling they would. So, wild card. Okay, so you're looking at that too. So you may have 3. Well, dude, you might as well make it 4. There's a couple slots left in the NPFL. Not many, but there are a few. July on Pickwick. Let's go. Do it. Pay your 30 grand entry fee to fish that one event.
I mean, I'll just John Cox's thing. I don't care.
Dude. Yeah, we're going there in July. Could be a better time of year, but that one will be interesting.
What's funny about that one is that time of year, shallow bite starts playing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like,
it'll be different.
It gets different again. Like that May and June is just they're out there. They're out.
That's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing. They're postponed. By July, it all kind of gets to be some other factors playing in. That one won't be bad.
No, I think it'll be cool.
That one's not going to be the leg.
It's not typical. That's what I told them.
Tournament was going to be.
I told them, I said, thank you for not doing this in June.
It's kind of cool to see. It's going to be cool to watch it in March and cool to watch it in July. July weights are not going to be stellar. They're not going to murder 25.
18 a day, maybe. Could it take more?
I bet 16 a day wins that tournament.
Ooh, okay.
It's 4 days, right?
3 days.
17 a day will win that tournament.
17 a day.
For sure. Hands down.
Okay, I'm writing it down. Right here. I don't know what the bet is. Probably not one, but 17 a day. All right, I'm writing it down. Y'all heard it here. It's video forever.
If I'm wrong,
You're not going to be. I don't think you're wrong because the weights taper off then, and if you catch 17 a day, 3 days straight, you're going to be strong.
That's strong.
You're going to be strong.
So it's going to be. We're going to showcase the lake this year in a lot of different ways than it's always just been
And
showcased.
Counts Tennessee stepping up and throwing money, which is great. Yeah. Was that surprising to you to start seeing that 3 major events out of there this year?
Yes. When everybody started posting it's going out of Counts, I was like, I live in Florence. I live 7 minutes from McFarland. I'm going to roll up, warm the Keurig up, get in my truck, dunk it, go fishing.
That's right.
I'm going to wake up 30 minutes before blast off.
Yeah.
But when all the tournaments used to go out of the lower end is when the ledge fishing was at its best because we stocked that end.
Took them down there all the time.
And
Absolutely.
now we always bring them back up here.
Yep,
We're always
you're right.
bringing them up. And
then they go, what is this current? Like they freak out.
yeah, they lock to Wilson and live in the abyss.
They go up to the suspended abyss.
But anyways, it just there used to be a ton of tournaments went out of Counts, and I don't know if it was whoever's in power for the last few years. I don't have a clue. It's political.
Yeah,
but tournaments quit going down there. So
they're putting some money back in. Yeah.
Having some big tournaments on that end of the lake is going to bring some of it back down because that's the end that everybody wants to go fishing. It's the popular end.
Yeah, you got Freddie T's, dude. You can hang out at Freddie T's.
Heck yeah.
I mean, where else?
You can beach your boat, walk to the gas station in Yellow Creek.
That's right.
I mean, it's the place. And then you can go to the Rib Shack right down the road.
Yeah, Pickwick Pizza Company. Is that still open over there? I used to play music over there. I had my gas siphoned out one night at Freddie T's. That happened. We were playing music. We had the music trailer, had his old busted Suburban, and we came out and the gas door was open. And I was like, well, that's odd. And then we got in it, and the sucker was on empty. Sucked the gas right out of her at Freddie T's. They're like, yeah, that crappy band's in there. They're going to be here for a while. And they worked us over. So Freddie T's, it happened. That's real life. That happened. So shout out me, Counts, Tennessee. But no, I think Tennessee, the state parks are really...
And that's a great tournament facility, dude. That place is huge.
Dude, it's awesome. I fished like 2 or 3 deals out of there over the years, but now they've renovated the state park. So I think they're just up
As a
in their
hotel
game.
in the park. I've always felt like that's an awesome place to have them. I don't
Great
know why
venue.
They didn't. So
and I think
it's
that's
cool to see that.
You're going to start seeing that more and more. You know, Florence though, man, they've just thrown the dollars at it. They got the facilities, they got lodging, they got Pickwick and Wilson. Of course, Wheeler's on the edge of it, but they do host some events out of Wheeler too, you know. But I think I'm glad to see that. Like I'm Counts as
the same way. Like it's just a good breakup. Like I said, I'm all for being out of Florence, and that's all good. That goes back to those fishermen looking for a leg up for themselves. I love going to out of Florence. That's good for me, but I like to see it out of Counts. That, like I said, we're gonna take some fish back to that end of the lake, spread it back out. It'll be different. It'll be a long run to the dam, or it'll be a long run to
either
fish
or.
up Coder,
That's right.
Whatever, it'll just spread it out. I like it.
There is a stink bug which have infested all year. I don't even, but it's like crawling up the wall behind you. I just wanted to point that out so the YouTube commenters will see it. There it is. Up, up, up. Now he's going to attack you. Those things bite supposedly.
Yes,
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard
them
that.
bite me in a deer stand. Like
I've
never
never
about getting in your shooting houses.
Yeah, oh yeah, everywhere.
And they'll just be up your leg and then go down in your lacrosse. Shout at me, sponsor.
Yeah, get at my boy.
They'll be down in your lacrosses, and then you can't get them off quick enough.
Dude, speaking of sponsors, and we're gonna wind this down because me and you got some business to take care of. We got to go look at bows and stuff.
Definitely got to go look at some
We got to
bows.
go shout out Lawson's Outdoors, Loretta, Tennessee. But dude, I saw it. So you got your truck wrap and you post us some new stuff. You just out here collecting bones, son. You got a bone. What's the deal with that? That was cool.
21's just been it's going to be a completely different year. I just change is good.
Yeah.
And this year I'm going to run Lowrance and Power Pole.
Yeah, you got a lot of changes.
And a big one, since my rookie year, Prime One camos wrapped my boat.
Yeah.
Stacy and Lance Walker, they've been awesome to me.
Shout out Lance.
Yeah, shout out Lance, the Pickwick Hammer.
The Pickwick OG.
They've been awesome to me. If it wasn't for them, I couldn't have done this. They gave me money when nobody else did. The whole 9 yards.
Sure.
And it's been good. And we've run with it for the last few years. I just got an opportunity with Realtree, and I called Stacy and talked to her about it, and she's like, "You need to do that." And she said, if one day that doesn't work out anymore, you let me know and we'll figure it out.
That's cool.
You know what I
Cool
mean? So
hear.
it's awesome. You know, they're awesome people. There's nothing negative there with me and them.
Good folks.
It's just business, and that's what she told me. She's like, that's a great business move. You've got a 6-month-old. He's 8 months old now. But
smilingest kid in history. Let's just throw that. He likes to smile.
He does like to smile.
I love my kids, but I look at them daily and I'm like, I wish you could be more like Cooper. And my kids are older now, but I'm like, that's the cutest baby I've ever seen. And like, they hear me say it and get mad. I tell Marissa, my wife, constantly, have you seen this baby? He just smiles all the time, dude.
Yep.
It amazes me.
So, but Realtree reached out to me, and we worked a great deal out. Those guys are awesome. I've been really excited. We've got some things maybe in the works, with some other sponsors, tying some things together. So it's just some big opportunity. Super excited about it.
Yeah,
they're a great
man.
company. That also allowed me to do a deal with Bone Collector, which is
That's what I saw on the
Mason,
truck. That really, yeah.
Michael Waddell. That's him and T-Bone and Nick Mundett. That's their deal. But Mason Waddell's a good friend of mine.
Good kid.
Good kid. Ryan Wakenig, Cohen Stone, all them. So I'm going to get to work with them now because of it. So just doing the whole, going the Realtree route was going to open some extra doors. And that's just kind of what I talked to him about. And everybody was super excited about it. It's going to work out good. I'm pumped. Going to, like I said, going back to running the Lowrance and the power pole thing.
Lowrance trolling motor this year?
Yeah,
you running
a Ghost.
Okay.
Used it the other day. It's super awesome. It's quiet, brushless, fast.
That's cool. Yeah, it's like the Garmin was brushless this year. It's like, whoa, okay, there's a difference in this.
Yeah, it's different for sure. So I really liked it. There's no hard feelings with Johnson Outdoors from my side.
You
no means.
You were an employee at one point with
I used
them.
to work for them.
Yeah, you've
That's
done
exactly
a lot.
Right. It was
things change.
It was just a business decision. Had some really good opportunities to capitalize on some things, and there was week-long conversations about it. And when it was all said and done, that's the route we decided to go, and everything was good. And so, people bash when you make a sponsor change. You're just like, it's the money, blah, blah, blah. And
sell out.
It's not always just about the money.
It's
it's opportunities that can come with other things. Maybe it's longevity of the way, some things.
Or relationship, man.
Relationships.
People matter.
That's right.
People matter. If you can get that dude to answer your phone call at this company, and not saying this was the case with you at all, but I'm saying, like, for me, that's big. Like I said,
and you saying that, I mean, that's exactly right. Like if I call Cheryl, she either answers
or texts you,
or texts me, or calls me right back.
Yeah.
And that held a lot of weight. I mean, that was really cool. And that's the thing, like at Evinrude with Krista, I could call Krista at 11:30
no
at
doubt,
night.
man.
And she may answer the phone and say, "What in the hell do you want?" But she was going to pick it up.
She's going to answer. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that was awesome. And like I said, I'm not throwing shade or nothing.
No. I just think that there are reasons sponsors changes.
There's a lot of just relationships help me run my business better because I'm running a business. When it's all
the business of fishing, I say it all the time. We get into it for the love of fishing, and then it turns into that, whether you want it to be or not.
The
it just
days
happens.
I'm fishing are the easy days.
No doubt.
That's not, people are like, oh, you get to fish all the time. And I'm like, that's the easy days.
We jockey for position the rest of the time against other guys and working with companies and figuring things out. And I think this off season's taught us anything is that change is inevitable, right? Because
absolutely.
we're all, myself included, like long-term relationships are changing.
Yeah.
And for one reason or another, some people are getting cut. Some people are choosing to leave on their own. And that's a lot of what yours are, just personal decisions to better yourself. That's how mine are. But then you got other guys that didn't have a choice. Yeah. So change has shown us that, like you said, you've been with Johnson for a long time. The thing in this industry, and I've talked this to death, but the thing in this industry is like loyalty is very good, but it also can make you stub your toes sometimes because you may have an opportunity come up and you're like, hey man, I've been with Ranger Bass, but like, look at the guy, like myself included, man, I can't do that. And then this year happens and you're like, well, what the hell? I ain't cheated on you. Why are you cheating on me? That's how it kind of goes. And there's a lot of guys going,
Yeah.
What? So,
And I
and you
just
made a
try to-
decision a few years ago like that. You left Ranger to go to Falcon, and you and I, as friends, I'm like, hey man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just from a business, like, dude, you're fishing FLW, you're doing this, and you're like, man, it's what's best for me. And now it's like,
It turned out good.
you're the smartest dude in the room. Like, you know, but and they're
hey,
great people
when it's
taking
all
great
said
care of
and
you.
it is, for sure.
Family
You know,
business.
and that's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and act like I always make the best, but I always make the best for me and my family at that
That's
time.
all you
what
can
I
do, man.
think's going to be the best. And if people want to get critical of that, get critical about it in the comments and have a big time with it. I'm not going to read it, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
I'm going to read it, and you better not be critical of them.
You know, but that's all these. You know, people want to be critical of whether you're fishing bass or Bass Pro Tour, whether you run Humminbird or Lorraine, whether you run Yamaha or Mercury or run a Ranger or whatever. But when it's all said and done, we're all guys that try to make a living doing something that we all
Are
grew up
fortunate
loving.
enough to have
And
an
we're
opportunity to
fortunate
do it.
enough
Yeah.
to have that opportunity. And if every guy, I'm just looking at Gerald's jersey, if every guy run a Triton Mercury with KMC wheels on
It'd be boring.
it would be so boring. And if there wasn't some mix up and just some change,
Oh, this year's been awesome.
you know what I mean? So like it's always cool. It's always fun to watch guys and, you know, my competitors and my friends, how they jockey around and work these angles and, you know, find these relationships with companies that become long term. You know, you meet a guy. I mean, even like me and Brad Rutherford were buddies in college.
Yeah.
And now
B-Rad.
I
Shout out
answer to
B-Rad.
him,
Yeah,
you know.
no
He is
doubt.
my boss, you know.
And he is, man, he is
He's
strict.
awesome. Yeah, well, he's
I'm
awesome.
just kidding.
But
He lets me get away with murder. Let's be
well, I
honest.
promise you, he'll call me and tell me when I need to do something different.
I know that.
You know what I
I
mean?
know
Like,
that's right.
guys, you know, people look at that and say, oh, well, that's your buddy. That's why you're making that up.
No.
Brad will call.
He takes his job
to carry
very
on
serious.
with
Yeah.
me. But, like, if I get out of line, he'll call me and say,
Yeah.
hey, homie, what's up? You know, what's going on here?
I know.
I need you to be doing this.
Why
not
aren't you doing
this.
more of this? Yeah.
Correct. So it's all business. It's all fun. It's not fun when you don't make it fun. Like if you got to see the fun in all of it, and find the good and the bad, and just roll with it. I appreciate everybody that watches and keeps up with it.
No
Even
doubt,
the ones
man.
that are critical of things. I love you too.
Shout out all you haters. He's brushing you off.
You know, it's cool. You know.
Did you have any? I want to end on this. Did you have any haters when you left MLF? Did you have people being like, like fan wise? Because there are probably some people in the organization who are like, yeah, Justin, we wish you weren't leaving. Screw you. Yeah. They probably didn't say that to you, but
I'm sure
that's how it
somewhere
works.
that
It's
was.
the same when guys left Bass. Like, screw that guy. He's dead to us. You know. So there are probably people within the organization. But did you have any fans be like, couldn't hack, you know, the dumb crap people say that they said to Swindle, they said it to Polnick, you know. Did you have any of that?
No, not really.
Good.
No, I really didn't.
You folks in the mom's basement are doing better. I like it. I'm turning y'all around.
Yeah, no, I really didn't. And I kind of watched for it with Hackney and Christie and all that. And I think the first year
was volatile.
Yeah, like Gerald and Polnick leaving, you know, they were, I don't even know, like Phoenix fiery birds rising up out of the ashes or something. Like everybody looked at them like they were crazy.
That's right.
You know, but now I think people understand not everybody loves one way or the other.
That's right.
And for the next 5 years, you're going to have people that go from Bass to MLF and MLF to Bass.
There's going to be lots of changes.
People have left FLW to go to Bass or left the Elites and gone to the Tour for years.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
just
a
the thing.
big deal. It just happens. Like people are going to change sponsors, change fishing organizations. It shouldn't bring hard feelings. It just is what it is. It's going to happen. So I think
doubt.
this year it was kind of like, all right, some people are going to leave. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's them. All right, guys.
Well, do you
whatever.
think we'll see more next year? Because it's kind of the end of the 3
There'll be a
years.
few more. Yeah, no,
Well, I haven't looked at the schedule. Do you think they'll be able to fish the opens? You know, with the
I don't
BPT
know.
schedule. I haven't looked at it.
With there being
Y'all comment
with
if
there
you know
being-
that story.
With there being 3 divisions of opens,
More opportunities.
and only 3 tournaments in each one, there's probably one that's going to line up.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
I haven't looked, but I had somebody ask me that last week. You think there's more coming? I'm like, man, I just don't. Not everybody's always just peachy
There's
where they're
people that
at.
are gonna leave to go to the NPFL.
Yeah, for sure. Like you're gonna
whatever.
see, absolutely. You're gonna
People
see
leave UPS to go drive for FedEx
all the
Whatever.
time.
We just do.
Fishing is a
know.
very brown little thing. I say it all the time, and that's where people get hung up.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely screw you for running this, or you drive a Dodge, I drive a Chevy. I mean,
that's
it's
right.
very
we
much
just
that
all
world.
love that we all love to fish, but instead we get so brand loyal. Like you said, that's the perfect example.
Yeah,
Like
the
people
little
that
guy
love
pissing on the Chevy.
Chevrolets.
See, yeah, sticker.
Yeah, you better not drive forward and park it in my driveway.
Oh yeah, dude.
Who freaking
People,
cares?
people have been very supportive over my switch to Express, but there's always that. Well, you gonna miss that range with that stupid aluminum boat, and you're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 21-foot high performance bass boat.
I appreciate all companies in this industry that sponsor fishermen.
No doubt, dude.
6 Cents does
Yeah.
not do diddly for Justin
But you
Atkins
see what they
fishing,
do.
But they sponsor a lot of my buddies, and I buy their little pegs like they're going
Peg
out of
X weights.
style
That's
because
right, Peg
they're the
X.
deal.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure, man.
like I just appreciate all these companies. No matter who they take care of, if they take care of somebody in the fishing industry, I appreciate
That's
them.
cool.
And I'm going to do. If I need something that they make, I just go buy that sucker. I'm not calling somebody. I'm not going to call Luke.
You
and ask
don't.
him
You're
for
not
6
getting my
cents.
discount code.
No.
Well, dude, I need your help on that.
I don't even want your discount code. I'm gonna buy it retail because
You're using Matt Lee's discount code. Is what you're doing. You're just lying to me right now. Use Dunk 10 for the win, dadgummit.
So but
That's a good point. Support people that support the industry, man.
For sure.
And for me, that's like, you know what? Even with whatever I've had with MLF, like General Tire, dude, they pump a bunch of money into sport. Support them, you know?
Hey,
support the dudes that...
I buy them and put them on my truck.
Yeah. What? Support the dudes that sponsor bass, you know? It's amazing to me how caught up we get in some of that kind of stuff
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's right. No, I mean Berkeley does make the best stuff by far. But
I mean... They got well, here's my problem with Berkeley, and it's a good problem. Is like at some point they just started making everything.
They sure do.
It was like, guess what we're doing now? Because they had some of the best fishing line in the world forever, and of course you got the Abu side of the rod and reel, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, guess what else we got other than a 10-inch blue fleck power worm? Everything. You're like, damn. Okay, we got hooks, we got weights. You know what? You want a Fritz side crankbait? We got that too. And I'm like, and it's my Instagram feed is nothing but Berkeley stuff. They just constantly coming out. Guess what? Little buzzing frog. Here's John Cox catching an 11-pounder on it, and I'm like, where do I buy it? You know, the generals.
That's right. So
yeah, it's an awesome time to be in the industry, man. I think that 2021 is going to be really good for you. I think it's going to be good for all you fans listening because more live coverage to watch than ever before. You got MPFL, you got the elites, you got BPT, you got Pro Circuit. You can keep up and learn almost every week of the freaking year. I feel like starting here in a couple weeks, you're going to have something to be.
We're about to do some fishing.
There's going to be some fishing, and hopefully, COVID leaves us alone. Nothing gets rescheduled. That's still lingering around, but. Dude, I think 2021 is going to be a blue trophy year for you, and I'm pumped for you, dude. I'm really happy, and thank you for coming to the LBO Bar and Grill.
Dude, I feel like I'm in a legendary place.
Dude, it's hallowed ground. Look, you can't see it's off camera. My daughter's got piles of clothes over here ready to take to Goodwill because why wouldn't that be in the Bar and Grill? Shout out Harper.
I mean, that's just things that, when you're a low lifer.
That's it. Yeah, you're just used to it. I mean, you're expecting a rat to run across any point.
Stink bugs.
Yeah, stink bug. We're not above stink bugs at the LBL Bar and Grill.
No chance.
Well, thank you, buddy. Y'all make sure you're following Justin on all social media. He is like me. He is honest. He's going to be in a deer stand giving you the juice. Bone collecting now, which I want to talk more about that, but off the air because I'm trying. Hey, shout at me, Michael Waddell. Let's get it. Let's get it.
I'm just trying to get him to call turkey in, and if he does,
No doubt.
I'm gonna full body mount it, and on the plaque on the bottom, it's gonna say "Called in by Michael Waddell."
Dude, he's the golden throat for the for the turkeys.
That's it.
For them Turks. All right, buddy. Thank you, y'all. I'm gonna take y'all out with Biloxi Blues. Like always, be sure to hug your mama, hug your daddy. Thank you for listening, subscribing, watching all this insanity every single week. I promise you, if you keep showing up, and you like it, I'm going to keep running my mouth. So keep showing up and just watch what happens. LD and the MCOB Wednesday. We will see y'all next time. This is where I act like I walk off, but I just make a circle and turn the camera off. So this is where we get to be cool. Just lowering the third wall for you folks out there. I do. I swing around, but you can see my reflection in the G thing. So I can be really
North, south, wherever the wind blows, I'm leaving those burdens at rest. This highway, it does not know my name, and I don't care. No, I don't care. Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to